Woo, we are here. We are live for a special Life and Transitions Experts podcast. This one is being shown live at 8 p.m. So this power couple gets the chance to, or gives us the chance to hear from them and see all the awesome things that they're doing. Folks, what's up? I'm Courtney Rollins, the Life and Transitions Expert podcast hosts. And as you may know, or if you don't know, because you may be first coming to this space, this is a space where I talk to folks who are dedicated or have some type of business that's dedicated to helping people through their transitions in their life. And they're trying to serve the higher good as well as run a business, run a company, and quite often continue to do the things that we do in life here. So it's great when I get to talk to couples or speak to this awesome couple right here. This is Miss Shamelle and Nels Ribeiro Yemofio. I was going to
there you go. There you go, Courtney.
We'll jump right on into it. So
yes.
So Nels is from Heroes for Hire LLC, and I'll give him a chance to share everything that he does there. But I just want to share real quick why I wanted to come on, because when we talk about making an impact in people's lives, or that great quote, I don't know who said it, but there's two times when I'm going to tear it completely up, but two more important moments in your life is the day you were born and then the day you realize you were born. And quite often, the work that you do to help people do the work that they do, I think is going to be amazing. So I won't put any spoilers out there, but can't wait for you to chat about it. And Shamelle,
awesome.
I had the book right here, but you guys, Keys to College, this is amazing work that you're doing, helping people with that huge transition, going to college, making sure that they can help, be a part of their journey, their story to make their dreams come true. So I've been babbling so much. Nels, Shamelle, how y'all doing?
We are doing amazing, Courtney. Thank you for having us.
Well,
yeah. How you doing?
Look, I feel so humble to be in this space. Because besides the fact that Courtney, you're a great person, you're also my big brother. Been looking up to you for many years. So I'm humbled to be sharing a space with you. So
I'll tell you what, man, Society Legacy is amazing. I'm blessed to be able to be a part of the same fraternity as Nels. And I'll tell you, there's some folks in our chat. Pretty soon I'm gonna have everybody on the show at some point or another. We had Nick up here and his beautiful wife and the amazing stuff they're doing, Dream Multiplied down in Charlotte. And it's great to have you guys up here. So Shamelle, let's start with you. Can you tell us about your journey to Keys to College? Who is Shamelle and how did you get to doing that work?
Okay, so thank you for asking. So yes, I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, but I was born in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I was in a college access program when I was in high school for low-income, underrepresented students. And we got a chance to spend 3 summers on the campus of Princeton University, and that changed my life. And I nerded out over college. I was absolutely obsessed with UNC Chapel Hill. And so my email address in 10th grade was uncminded@yahoo.com. And I feel like I manifested, with the help of God and the help of family, friends, and teachers, I was able to manifest my dream of going into college at UNC Chapel Hill. Made it through in 4 years. And then I decided to be a college advisor. And that's when I realized I just love college access. I love working with students that are underrepresented like I was and helping them to realize their dream. So I love that this podcast is called Transitions, because I love being able to get that instant gratification and see students in their 11th or 12th grade year and then realize what they're doing afterwards. So that's extremely gratifying for me. And so after being in college access for 10 years, and realizing that I am an expert, I got inspired as well by a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell that talks about after you've been doing something for 10 years, you are that expert. You are that go-to person. And so I realized, hey, starting an LLC, starting a business, but an opportunity to help students navigate their next steps was what I realized I wanted to do as my purpose. And I do it in my 9 to 5 and I do it after work as well. So that's how Keys to College came about a few years ago.
That is pretty awesome. I want to be able to share the screen here because people want to. So if people wanted to come see, who are the ideal clients or folks who are going to come see Keys to College or come work with you?
So my ideal clients are students that are underrepresented. However, I do work with all students and can work with all students. I love to be able to connect them with opportunities that they may not have known existed. So yes, as you can see on my website, I do have beautiful brown people on my website. They are mostly my target. And so you can be anywhere in the United States. I do want to work on more of my international knowledge of colleges, but I do focus on students in the United States. And, it does help to have face-to-face interaction. So if you are in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, or even North Carolina as well, places that I may frequent, those would be my ideal clients as well. I also love to work with schools, classrooms, classes, school systems, school districts. So that's what I also would like to focus on as well.
Oh, very cool. And if anybody wants to, they can come to the site keys-to-collegellc.com. There'll be links in the show notes. And there's also awesome, looks like a free 30-minute consultation to be able to sit down with Shamelle and talk about Keys to College.
Absolutely. Yes. Sit down. We can talk and chat and see, where do you want to be? What are your goals? And I can help you get there.
That's so awesome to be able to see. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was in the world of education for almost 20 years. And so you're at that space, 11th and 12th grade, where you see the all that potential become kinetic with a huge choice like transition to college and all. That's an amazing thing. And it's also pretty cool that, us three share the alma mater as well. So I'm telling y'all, you gotta pick your friends wisely. Y'all make so Tar Heels, let's go Tar Heels. So how did you guys meet? Where did you all meet? Nell, Shamelle, did you all meet at Carolina or?
Take it away.
So the story.
You're a great storyteller.
All right. Okay. I'll give the abbreviated version. So we all went to UNC, right? I'm a year ahead of Shamelle, and we had known of each other at UNC, but we kind of just we're very cordial, and every now and then just a wave, or Black folks at UNC, we all know each other, and we're all
wave
cool.
Everybody was gonna get their hand out. Oh, you ain't gonna wave?
No ifs, ands, and buts.
Okay.
we're a tribe in itself. So we didn't really talk to that much or know each other that much at UNC. But fast forward many years later, a thing that is special, I'm assuming it's special everywhere, but very special in the DMV, is the UNC basketball game viewings. We would all convene through our alumni association. We'd have a place where everybody would watch the basketball games in the DMV. And so we started seeing each other around then, and we started, hanging out, talking, and we got really cool as friends. It just so happens that we continue to hang out, we continue to get to know each other, and the friendship became more than a friendship. And so funny enough, our first date, what we consider our actual first date, just so happened to be the inaugural ball. So we often joke that our first date was actually a double date with Barack and Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
What's the inaugural ball? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. 2013.
First Black president.
When Barack was got his second term, we were dancing and they were dancing, and that's when I was like, you know what? I have enough friends. I have enough friends. I want this to be something more with friendship. And fast forward, we're about to be married for what? 8 years
this
now?
year, but yeah, we've been dating. So we started dating in 2013. So yeah, it's been 10 years since we've been together.
Yep.
Wow.
And best decision I ever made.
Oh, look at the eyes. Oh, that's beautiful. That is lovely. So Nels, man. So let's hear about you though, Heroes for Hire, and your journey to there, and explain to people, because you have such a unique niche. It's an amazing thing. So explain to people what Heroes for Hire helps people do, and your journey to Heroes for Hire.
Okay, so I think in order for me to tell Heroes for Hire, I got to tell a little bit about my story.
Oh, absolutely.
So after college, I worked in nonprofit and continued working in nonprofit or education adjacent organizations throughout my career. And so as I was matriculating through a national tutoring AmeriCorps program, I got to a place early on in my career where I had the opportunity to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and start the Tulsa branch of this organization. For For folks who don't know, it's an organization called City Year, where I spent, I did a core year right after college and pretty much stayed there ever since.
City Year?
City Year, yep. Mm-hmm. So I essentially was placed in Tulsa, was given a $1.2 million budget, and was told to start this program in Tulsa. And I didn't know how to fundraise. I was the most senior person on staff, even though I was under the age of 30. Wow. I'm not from Tulsa. I have no connection to Oklahoma at the time. I essentially had to learn everything about starting an organization from scratch and galvanize folks through the process. And we did a great job. Folks at City will say that was at the time, it was one of the most successful startups that was there. We were featured in the newspaper 3 or 4 times within 1 year. We won a United Way collaboration award at the end of the year, and we had some of the best impact data in City Year that year. And so what my peers realized that I didn't realize till years later was that I had a niche with supporting things getting started. So after that year, folks would come to me and say hey, I want to start a nonprofit. What do you think I should do? Or, hey, I had this idea that's been in the back of my head. What do you think is the next step for me to do? And I didn't really know why folks were coming to me. I guess I thought because my experience in Tulsa was good, but they saw something in me that I didn't even readily see in myself. Oh, wow. So the next thing I did was go to grad school and get my master's in nonprofit management. Okay. So I could actually think about the concepts that I was implementing throughout my career. And then from there, with a big motivation from Shamelle, a huge motivation from Shamelle, but also folks who were saying, hey, your time is valuable. I will pay you for your time. Right. I decided to start Heroes for Hire. And the concept of Heroes for Hire is very simple. We make the complex simple, and we support social entrepreneurs to take their ideas for change and make them fully functional 501c3 nonprofit organizations. For anyone who is not versed in the world of nonprofit, you ever try to start a nonprofit, all of a sudden you're going to see some terms pop up and you're okay, this is not for me. I'm not going to do it. And my job is to stop that barrier from happening. If you have an amazing idea that can change the lives of many people, our job at Heroes for Hire is to make that a reality and to knock any of the hurdles out of your way so you can just focus on making the change that you believe in. Oh, and so, Heroes for Hire has been in existence for 6 years now. We've worked with over 100 social entrepreneurs. Some of the folks that we work with have been on the Forbes list. Some of the organizations are now valued over $1 million. We've seen some amazing stuff happen in the past 6 years. And so, that's a little bit about Heroes for Hire.
So the folks who are out here are listening, or they may listen down the road, and they have some great idea, but they just don't know where to get started. Is there a limit that you have? I know you're saying there's folks who seem like are doing great things or in volume or scale now, but do they have to have a certain threshold to be able to utilize your service?
Absolutely not. I've had folks come to me who wrote an idea down on a napkin and said, what do you think? And put the napkin in front of my face. And that turned you fast forward 2 years later, and they're getting grants from the Walton Foundation. Right. So no, if you have an idea and you just don't know where to start, that is the perfect stage for working with myself and Heroes for Hire. So
I have so many questions, but one being, two business owners, or you guys own your organization, you are your companies, or you run your company. It seems like there is a theme that carries over for brown and black folks and people who have historically been oppressed, that we want to be able to make money and do good, I'm assuming, by and large. But those two, quite often in our culture, didn't always seem to link up or to match up, or it seemed like they're on the other end, making a lot of money and doing good. Again, of course, I know there's pockets that, and there's certain situations that doesn't necessarily apply, but how have y'all either reconciled? Has that been an issue for you all? Have you reconciled, or how do you or what are your thoughts on, I should say, I don't want to lead it all in any way, being able to do great things and being able to hopefully, well, you see where I lean towards, hopefully make some money.
Yeah.
Full alert, I like making money.
Yeah,
I like doing
Yeah,
good things.
I may piggyback.
Well, yeah, that's actually, so there's two things with that. One is when I was like originally thinking about like, you know, how with this knowledge, how can I support folks? It was actually my tribe that pushed me to say like, this is a business. If you have a skill and a talent that is unique and there is a demand for it, your time is valuable and your time is worth money. And so you need to be compensated. I try to like support somebody for free, like one of my friends, and they were like, no, like you just gave me 3 hours of your time. 3 hours of your time is worth like $300,000 or $300 in this space. So like, why am I gonna like just take your time for free? Like I need to compensate you for this time. And it really just like it hit a nerve in my head. And it's like, even with people who are doing amazing things, like they're still compensated for their time. We live in a society where time is compensated. So it just, it like just made complete sense to me. Yeah, it was a paradigm shift that made me realize like, actually, this is a business. And in order to operate a business, there needs to be transactions and funds that are received in so the services can be given. And once like I made that understanding, like I started to think about how I could still support folks while still being a business and still like giving back in unique ways. So I would say the things that I've considered, one is like the cost effectiveness of what I offer versus where you would get from someone else who is doing similar work. It is like no ifs, ands, or buts, very competitive. And that was intentional. Like I wanted to like do it for the good, but also know that like there was revenue coming in. So the cost point was a thing that like I very much so thought about. And I think just to like go back to your overall point around like doing good and making money at the same time, I think that's the complete concept of social entrepreneurship.
Right.
Like you can do good and make money at the same time. Like that's why Corp B organizations are popping and like folks are excited about businesses like Ben and Jerry's and what's the socks called? Bombas.
Yes.
Like you can make money and do good at the same time. Like you might be bringing in less revenue in your pockets, but like you're going to be making an impact in some way, shape, or form. So I just want folks to like think about like, yes, you can do both. We live in a capitalistic society. Maybe there's some things that should change in a capitalistic society, but until then, you should absolutely think about like using with the revenue that you have, using your time, talent, and treasure to support the world and make it a more ideal place for folks. So, yeah.
Heck yeah.
I like that.
Thanks.
I wanted to add, but I didn't know if I should wait for the next question.
Oh no, please do add. I'm just showing Heroes for Hire LLC here, but yeah, please add, Shamelle. I think it's an important topic to talk about.
Yes. So it just made me think about how I grew up and seeing my family, do things for each other or other family members or friends for nothing, spending their time, even doing hair, let's say, oh, I'm just doing you a favor. It took someone 3 or 4 hours to do someone's hair without getting anything in return. And so I wonder if that's something in the Black community from generations and generations ago, where perhaps we might have felt like we didn't deserve to be compensated financially. And also, as I'm getting older and I'm having less time and more responsibilities, I need to be able to exchange time for money at this point. I might have been able to do more volunteering in my 20s and early 30s, but now it's like, wait, hold on. I only have like 2 or 3 hours out of the day that I possibly can do this, and I need to be compensated because I just don't have as much flexibility nowadays. Yeah, I think that's where commerce comes in as well, such as the book, that passive income that people speak of.
Right. Oh my gosh. Oh man, you about to make me go into all right. So let me make a note of that right there. But I really appreciate you sharing that, Shamelle, because I think that was a part of my hang up. I had a limiting belief or maybe even an insecurity about money for so long. I was like, I'm just going to be the cool hippie who just teach or educate and just free spirit, love and learn for learn's sake. I want to plant seeds of, rebels to help change the system and all. But when it came to like really gain financial traction, I think there was a part of me that let messages about what I could do or couldn't do as far as make money lie to me. And so I had to be honest after a while. I was like, wait a second. In fact, as you said, Nels, I think that you are compensated for the value you bring, you know? So the more value I bring to the market, the more I'm going to be compensated. And of course, we do have the extremes of capitalism, extremes of any system where there's people who take advantage. But by and large, the math, the universe seems to show that the more I give, the more good I provide. That whole Zig Ziglar, the more good I can get everything I want in the world if I help other people get what they want in the world. And that focus seems to be right up you all's alley. And yeah, so I appreciate you bring that up. But let me ask you this. There's sometimes they say, you know, there could be two people sleeping in the same bed, but having different dreams, you know. How did you all recognize, or what were some of the things? I'm making assumptions. Y'all seem so awesome. It seemed like you got a great vibe, but what are some things you can provide suggestions to, well, what's there that helps you all push each other in your different ventures and your ventures together?
Well, I would say I admire this young man so much. He inspires me, he motivates me, and we have our, you know, similarities, but we do have a lot of differences. And so I think just by us being together, living together, being married, I think we've somewhat met each other in the middle. He's more neat, I'm more messy. You know what I'm saying? Now that we've been living together, I've gotten a little more neater. He's gotten a little more messy. Yes. So I had not had any experience managing people in a leadership role. He had a leadership role 10 years before I ever had a leadership role. So now, you know, that I have when I say leadership role, I mean in title, like managing people at work. I can better relate to him now, and some of his ways, some of his, you know, putting calendar invites, you know, respecting his time, things of that nature. So it came from a point of admiration and wanting to be able to be understood by him, but also to understand him better. And so we capitalize off of the things that we do have in common, and sometimes joke on the things that we may not have in common. So it definitely helps that we're both Tar Heels and both Greek and that and I have I'm familiar with the DMV. I went to, you know, grad school here, so location wise. So those are just some points that helped us to just build upon our dreams.
Wow. So yeah, and I would say, sorry, go ahead, please.
Well, I would say, like, especially in thinking about, you know, the entrepreneurship aspects of our relationship, I would say one uniquely, like, we both hustlers. You know, like before we, you know, in the Black community, we don't really call it entrepreneurship. Like, we call it hustling.
We'll get it done hustling.
As we have polished ourselves, we now know the term is entrepreneurship. But like Shamelle and I have always been thinking about, like, you know, how can we, like, you know, progress our economic mobility? Like, how can we, dismantle the generational curses of poverty that we may have experienced or been adjacent to? Like, how do we like, you know, leave something better for our kids? And so we constantly think about it and constantly talk about it. And because it's something that we both, like, naturally have, it's fun. Like, it's just part of our relationship. It's joy. It's not a stressor. It's just something that we, like, vibe off of each other. So that's one. But, like, I say this with, like, the utmost arrogance ever. Shamelle is a college access guru. Like, she is a beast when it comes to college access. And so when you are able to see someone's gift and see it, like, so vibrantly done well, you, like, demand that the world sees it. And like, I'm like emphatic that the world needs to know how great she is at this. I have personally benefited from it working in education. Anytime I have anything college access related, a question, I already know who got the answer. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't got to go to Google. I don't got to go to Wikipedia. I just got to ask Shamelle. and she knows it.
Best encourager. That's why it's great to
Oh
have
man,
a
that
partner.
make me chill. Oh, that is beautiful right there.
That's why it's great to have a partner who does recognize your gifts and then will push you. Because some of the pushing, I might have felt resistance, like, why I gotta do that? Like, why I gotta share my knowledge? I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate his encouragement always.
Man,
Yeah, and I'll just wrap it up with saying, like, part of my drive to be able to do the miscellaneous things I've done is because Shamelle's my muse. Like, I feel so inspired and so like nurtured and supported that I feel like I can do anything. And it's because Shamelle is an amazing support system. Like, she cheers you up when you're down, she holds you down when you're stressed. She like she's a ride or die. So if you're saying like, yo, I'm going after that, she's like, we going after that. Like, who, like, what's up? So like, when you have someone like that on your side, you feel like you can do anything. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing everything.
That's oh my God, I'm taking notes here, and it's a beautiful thing. I hear I don't even know where to go. One, y'all have the sense of familiarity with the Carolina, with the Tar Heels and all, but obviously you hear their love and their passion and compassion for each other. So it's like you guys are able to look into each other and attend to each other and see each other, but also stand shoulder to shoulder with the work that you're doing, as well as, back to back and do your own thing and know that somebody has your back and all that. That's just a beautiful thing to have. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, and I got 3 or 4 different places I want to go there. My mom just hopped on and said, "What's up there?" So I can pressure my mom. Yeah, she said, "Sound like she's your 100 and all that good stuff." I wonder if my lady's watching. Shout out to my lady too, because I feel like that's one of the things that that Michelle brought to me, to be able to just encourage you so much and all. So I know my mom's watching, so I'm gonna get some brownie points, but it is 100 right there. But I'm gonna borrow from Nell's enthusiasm, because man, my goodness, man, it's a great way to support your partner. And Shamelle, you obviously are seeing taking advantage of the organizational side or structure that Nell's was bringing. So I would love to ask more on that. Well, actually, before I ask about that, because y'all got me going 3 or 4 different places. There's awesome stuff right here. But let me just share how awesome this. They're not just talking about it. They're
the book. Yes.
I had it in my hand. I need to buy more copies so I can pass them out to my friends. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be on that. But yeah, talk about C is for College, a book that you all wrote together. What was that process like? And for everybody, go to Amazon, C is for College. Tell them everybody else, if you don't want to go to Amazon, where you want them to go, all that good stuff. So what's that?
Yes, Amazon is good. Thank you. And hit us up, we'll give y'all our socials later. If you want to have a personalized signed copy, we can mail it from our house.
And for those of you who are against the Bezos and Amazon folks, you can get them at almost at like any bookstore. You can just Google C is for College, and like whatever bookstore, whether it is Barnes and Noble or your bookstore down the street, they're able to order it and get it to you. So yes, and it is available digital as well. For those who are like don't want paper. So
so see, so I guess I can start. Tell us about it, please.
Yeah, let's tell y'all about it. So first of all, y'all remember when I was saying that sometimes we do have divided interests. Nils is a superhero nerd.
Yeah, I was going to bring that in later on.
Marvel and DC, anime in between. I know nothing about Marvel and DC before we got together. Of course, I knew Batman. I've heard of Superman, but I didn't know how deep it was. But that's his thing, right? And then I have my thing. I have my certain type of podcast I like to listen to, certain type of books or whatever entertainment that I have. And I was like, let's work on a project together. We both are passionate about education. What is something that we both are, head over heels about? We have 2 beautiful Black boys. And so we are also passionate about college access. So let's work on a project. We had never seen a college access book for children, for elementary school age children. And we all know that, we are underrepresented in general. I think it's about 2% of all children's books featured Black children. So we wanted to be the change that we wanted to see in the world. And so Nils has a very great imagination. He did an amazing job. I saw a whole different part of him that I didn't know existed when he was contributing to this book. He wrote a good amount. And so, and then we were thinking about the illustration. So that was fun. It took us about 2 years from start to finish. There may have been a few months where we just didn't work on it at all, but we worked on it at night when the kids were asleep, or we worked on it during holidays. Like for example, if there was a holiday that we were off at work, but the children were at school, we would be at Panera and we might work on it for 45 minutes at a time, and boom, we're done. And then we might get back to it 2 weeks later. Yep. So we never let go of that dream. We never let that dream die, even if we, might have been slow moving. We're like, come on, let's pull it all together. When we got our illustrator, then the rest was history. We pulled it all together. But it was definitely a team effort, because we had an editor, illustrator, had a few other people to help this dream come together.
Yeah.
Wow. Was there a particular resource that that you found most useful as far as helping you with the I guess publishing
formatting?
The formatting. Yep.
Yeah. Thankfully, our illustrator did it. He did more than illustrate.
Oh, wow.
He helped with the publishing. He helped give us insight as far as, should we go with Ingram Spark? Should we go with Amazon KDP? Those are the two main ones that people use when they are self-publishing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we learned just about the royalties and things of that nature. And so he helped us to format it, bind it together. Some people who don't have someone to do that, they might have had to outsource another person, or that could have taken another 3 months to figure that out by YouTube and piecemealing it together. And we wanted to make sure that it was done right and in a timely manner. So thankfully he helped us with that.
What the vibe I get from you all is so awesome is that, like, we both seem very hungry and content at the same time, like grateful for where you have, but a creative dissatisfaction that drives it. And it reminds me like that Jim Rohn, where he says that the importance of goals is not like achieving the goals, but the person you become to achieve them, the person you have to become. So stepping out, expanding, learning, like the different royalties, different aspects of creating a valuable product. I hope that people are encouraged. I know I'm inspired to hey, let me step out, let me do this thing in life, and let me actually do something that actually provides a good. It is what's so amazing about it too, is that, it sounds like you like you say, you're thinking about that passive income and also having reach. How many people are going to be able to go see for college for, perpetuity, for so long, and how many kids are going to be able to look, brown and black kids, the impact. You all deserve as much, compensation and more for that, because of the increase you're bringing to people's lives. And it's dope to see, or awesome to see you all doing it together. So if we were talking about rubber meets road, though, Nels, what are some working on your company, on your business, what are some of the key things that you think are vital for someone who's either just starting out or really just trying to make sure that they remember just basics of how to keep the doors either open or let's say keep the doors
open.
Or to
establish the door.
Or you just establish, they even know, I need a door over there. Yeah.
So I think the first thing that we should talk about is when folks, right before folks take the plunge, a lot of folks will always ask, how do I get started? I have this idea, or I have this talent, what should I do with it? And the first thing I always tell folks is, if you have an idea, write it down. Because as soon as you write it down, as soon as you actually take the time and energy, whether it is to type it up or put pen to paper and write it down, it becomes real. It becomes something tangible, and you are able to see and recognize that there is something that you are producing. Once you write it down, you make it real, then you can actually tangibly think about it and actually say that it exists in the world. And then once you write it down and you see that it's tangible and it's real, the next thing you do is talk about it. You can talk to folks that you trust. You can talk to, folks that you idolize, but you can pick people's brain and just say, hey, what do you think about this particular thing? Or I want to solve this kind of problem, and I think I can do it in this way. And all you're doing is collecting data. Like, you do not take anybody's word for gold, because there's some haters out there. You're gonna learn that you got some haters, which is a beautiful thing if you have haters, but you're gonna learn you got some. But you're just taking insight from what they're saying. Like, hear what your advocates are saying, hear what your haters are saying, because like that's gonna be valuable information as you're continuing to form this thing. And then once you do that, Shamelle, actually, I learned this from you. You look and see who is doing something similar. Like, who are folks that you appreciate, or organizations that you appreciate, who may not be doing this exact thing, but they're doing a version of it, or doing it in a unique way, and just like follow them, ask them questions, like admire them, like just take in what they're doing so you can better flesh out how you want to do it. And then from there, do it. Like, talk to an expert who can help you, like allocate time and work on it, and don't stop until it's done. That's like my big advice for folks to start it, and then to like continue to work on it. Like, there's a difference between being an entrepreneur, having a side hustle, like starting a venture. There's all like different gamuts of how to do it, but all in all, it requires one thing, which is to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself, because you will burn yourself out mentally building something. It's just like having a kid. You're going to burn yourself out if you have kids, if you don't take care of yourself. And the baby needs you to take care of yourself so you can take care of the baby. So if you need to stay away from the business for a week to get your mind right, do it, because that's what the business needs you to do. If you need to, like hire somebody to like help you out for a month or so on like social media, do it. It may be a dip in your revenue for a month, but it's going to probably lead to greater success a year from now. So like, you just got to really make sure you take care of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, the entire gamut. Like, make sure you take care of yourself.
That's a beautiful thing. I also love, if you are in that cycle of taking care of yourself, it also is going to give you the space to hear what that next venture is, and fuel the desire and the plan that you may have. It's a never-ending game, this thing called life, man. I appreciate those tips. Now, Shamelle, if I was asking, if somebody came to you, or I say it like this, what are some of the like things you want people knew about college access that is either wrong right now out there in the space in the world, that's or you just wish more people understood about college access?
Yes, I wish that people would start earlier. Now, I know there are some people that start before the baby is even born. That could be doing a bit much, because I know they're thinking about preschool, and they're just concerned, that the type of preschool they go to is going to affect college. There's actually a movie about that. It may be on Netflix, but anyway, it was following a child at a preschool. I think it was called Nursery University. But anyway, those people, they were doing a bit much. So I would say start earlier. I would say probably 6th grade to 7th grade, just thinking about the courses students are going to take, because math is key if you're going to take Algebra 1 in the 8th grade. Or if you take Algebra 1 in the 9th grade, that could be a game changer as far as college prep. And so I'm a huge advocate of children, especially in the Black and Brown communities, taking Algebra 1 in the 8th grade to help prepare them for high school. Okay. And so another thing is just connect with your resources. Be very resourceful, whether it's a school counselor, a teacher. Ask questions. You ask Dr. Google, just go and Google and just use the technology that's at your fingertips. Students can find out how to do TikTok dances and trends and spend an hour or two trying to learn a dance. But then when it comes to doing research, they might spend 5 minutes and they get frustrated and say they don't know how to find an email address for a college, when you could just Google the college and find the admissions email address. So I wish that students and families would just be more resourceful and plan a little bit earlier.
Man, this is so interesting that you say that, because you're in different worlds but similar worlds when it comes to people making big choices, right? Nels, people trying to do great things and you helping them actually create that opportunity. Shamelle, people trying to do great things and you're helping them know that they create that opportunity there. I wonder, how can, both of them seem to require, it sounds like, planning. I'm reading a book, Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil, and he's having this mock interview with the devil. And the devil says one of the reasons he catches people is because they drift, that people don't have a definite plan, don't have a definite purpose. And that's, if you don't have a definite plan and purpose, then you're just out to the whims of whatever, Instagram, social media, TV, whatever you're just following. You don't have that. But it seems like both of you all, these are tools for, a definite plan, definite and purpose. How in the college access space, you said so early, I'm trying to blend, to be honest, the topic about, or the thought of writing down your goals with writing out, helping young people make decisions about what they want in life. So is there anything in the college access space or world that helps people not only decide about the college, but their purpose, helps people find their purpose? I know there's a long circle around there, but
you know what? Something that I've started noticing in the past few years is that soft skills are way more important than those hard skills. Being able to be resilient, again, asking questions, being polite, writing an email, that's what's going to help students and become those mature adults. I saw something on LinkedIn was talking about soft skills. So I also feel like part of my purpose is, yes, you have the technical piece of applying to college and taking these classes, but if you don't know how to interact, or if you can't put yourself out there, then you may drop out. You may be a straight A student and get a perfect score on the SAT, but if you're in your room thinking that friends are going to have to find you and you feel like you don't have a place on the campus, you're not going to persist as well if you don't have those soft skills, those social skills. So I think just being well-rounded, while also just doing the best that you can. Don't stress out if you don't get an A or a B. Just know that this is life and it's never a loss. It's always a lesson.
Now, I see what you're saying, because she cleaned up that question so nicely, because that's what I was trying to ask, and I didn't think I asked clearly, but points to soft skills. So it opened up. It reminded me of awareness, and like a lot of the work I was doing as director of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, did have to do with I guess you would say the soft skills, and one of the biggest ones was awareness. I do appreciate the mindfulness that's coming into educational spaces, because having that mindfulness is going to give the tools that person needs to say, I can change the world, or I do, this is what I actually want, because I'm sitting down still with myself, with me. And then when they try to figure out how to do it, they can go to Heroes for Hire and figure out how do I got the tools, how do I set up the system and tools to do that. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I won't be mindful of your time. You guys did point out the two young ones that you have, and I was going to bring that up as well. How is that? You guys must be amazing parents. How is that journey, doing what you do and doing what you do?
being a parent, has definitely challenged me and my patience. And so, it sounds good, sounds great. Oh, yay, little baby. But, I'm the only child. So I never had any experience changing a diaper. I didn't have experience holding a baby, so all of that was new to me. I didn't babysit. So, every child is different. Yes, we have two boys, but they have two different personalities, but also we were different parents when we were new parents, and then different parents when we had the second one. So we knew more. And so because we are educators, and because we understand the importance of success in school, I will speak for myself, like, our 5-year-old Ian, if he was doing something where he wasn't paying attention, I would be like, what's going on? You need to pay attention, because I'm hyper aware of ADHD and all these other things. I'm hyper aware of that. And so I don't want him to be funneled. And so that made me reflect on, okay, I don't want him to be categorized, but at the same time, I need to make sure that he is a confident young Black male. So what is something that, even though I recognize he has growth areas, I don't want him to feel insecure about anything. So then I have to constantly recalibrate and know that I don't know everything, and get books. We have, there's a book right here, No Drama Discipline. They didn't pay me for this plug or whatever, but anyway,
Put the link in the show notes.
it's and there are other courses on parenting that we did get a course, and it's different subjects in that course. So we are constantly students of life and students of our children. If at the end of the day, long term down the road, when we are not here, we want them to be thriving, confident Black males that are living their dream.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, two things to like hold on to and consider. Part of our motivation in doing what we're doing is for them. Like, we are thinking about, how are we best helping them out? How are we best supporting them? What are we leaving for them? So they have like, they're in a better position than we were growing up. So like the motivation for our grind is them, and then the other thing is, like, we put them first. Like, the reason the book took 2 years is because we got 2 boys, right? Like, if we were not consciously like being the best parents we could be for them, a lot of these things that we're doing would just, happen a lot quicker. But because we are putting them first, because we are, trying to nurture them, because we are, just thinking about their well-being, some other things go on the back burner. It doesn't mean it ends. It doesn't mean it stops. It just means it's slower because the priority is our kids. So like, I will throw out there, especially for folks who are, thinking about something that they've been passionate about, or something that they want to do, or even write a book. And they're like, well, I can't because I have a kid. I have to do this, that, and the third. Like, I'm just going to push you and challenge you to say, like, well, you can, you just might need to look at it differently. It may not happen as fast as you want it. It may not be as big as you want it. It may not look the way you think it should, but it doesn't mean it can't exist. You just need to like think about how you can do what you want to do within the parameters of the world that you live in. So, yeah.
And when we can see their transitions, when we can see that they've grown, that is so rewarding. So they go from not talking to talking, not walking to walking. They go from not knowing how to write their name to writing their name, first and last name. It's a beautiful thing to know that, wow, okay, the time that we're putting in, the effort we're putting in, it is blossoming. It's
paying off. Oh man. So seeing their wonderful transitions, and I'm making a cheesy segue to talking about transition. No, I'm just kidding. That really does, not to minimize that at all. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I can tell that's y'all's proudest accomplishment. I can see from jump, and you all are doing some amazing things out there. Folks, this is Shamelle and Nels Ribeiro Yemofio.
He's saying it so confident now. Now you're comfortable saying it. There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be saying, oh, that's what's up, man. I'm so appreciative you all coming on. I would love you all think about any last thoughts or that you want to share with the audience, and I'm gonna just share real quick, just to before you do that, just to invite folks to come to the Facebook Life and Transitions Experts Facebook page. If you're a small business owner, quite often we're focusing on folks who are working with real estate or estate planning, but there's other folks in their life is full of transitions. So anyone who's really excited about or working as a small business owner, helping people in their different transitions in their life, would love you to come out there. Of course, if you've followed me, my niche is helping distressed property owners and folks who are going through the the probate process anywhere in the nation, really, but I do focus in Durham, North Carolina. But anywhere in the nation, you need some support or help, I can connect you with the nationwide vetted estate professionals. We talk about transitions, we talk about generational wealth and all that stuff. So I'd love to connect with you to help you protect those assets. If you're looking to figure out how to find the assets, and again, real estate's a space I love to work in. I'd love to help you figure out how to find deals. Love to hit me up, and we'll just work on that. And so that's all my mumble bumble, all that good stuff. And if you listen to this though on the pod, whatever you're listening to, love it for a rating. The algorithm That's how they figure out to tell people more about this and more about us and help us grow. So definitely appreciate that. Appreciate any feedback. All right. So Ms. Shamelle, I'm gonna start with you. What would you like? What could you leave the audience with?
I would say if you have a dream or a goal and you're afraid, feel the fear and do it anyway. Do it afraid. Keep going because you know that you have something and people can benefit from it. Another last nugget from me is Nils and I say this frequently. We know that Michael Jordan had a coach, and I think it was personal coach.
Yeah, it's like
So
I got his book. This coach,
and he said, winning's job is for you not to win. That means that don't get too comfortable winning, because winning is going to be like, oh yeah, you won, you're done. Winning's job is for you not to win. So keep going and keep winning.
Wow. Yes, we say that
I love that.
Once a week. Mm-hmm. We say that at least
I
once
love
a week to
that.
each other. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, what about you, Nels?
So my last words actually is a shout out to you, Courtney. So my last word is enthusiasm. And when I think about enthusiasm and like the living embodiment of enthusiasm, it is you, Courtney Rollins. And I'll tell you why. Because when you do something, you go all in and you kill it. So like, I know folks are knowing like the real estate like successes that you have. And like you taught yourself that, like you put in the work. Folks don't see the work, they see the success. But you put in the work to be as great as you are now. And I've seen you do the same thing, whether it's martial arts, whether it's golf, whether it is partying, like whatever whatever it is. And I, you know, as someone like, and folks, you know, like you look like you're 20, but you're not in your 20s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, like the fact that you have been like able to like enthusiastically go through these transitions and go all in and like, because of the hard work and effort you put in, have been successful to do it. That is just an inspiration for everyone who knows you and has been around you. So like my word is enthusiasm, and it is because I gotten to know you and I've seen you live your life that I can have a zestful life for myself. So
man,
kudos to you, brother.
I'm humbled by that. Almost cheer. I appreciate that to the fullest extent, brother. Yeah. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, man. But you know, enthusiasm is the key. To, you know, we you know, it's a catalyst. Oh man, I appreciate those words, bro. Hey, I'm almost at a loss, but I do want people to have a chance to connect with you all. How can they connect with you all? And we'll make sure all the information is in the seller notes. Then I'll let y'all going back to being awesome folks, as I still tear up over what Tom stamped there, so when I can hear that, when I need to hear that, I'm playing my affirmations every morning. But yeah, how can people find you? Nels, how can people find you?
Niels_RY.
Okay.
I'm on all social media, Niels_RY. The best social media to reach me is LinkedIn, Niels Ribeiro Yemofio. That's where you can find me. I like kind of look at all the other social media, but if you actually want to like see me and contact me, connect with me, it is via LinkedIn, Niels Ribeiro Yemofio. Anywhere else you can go, Niels RY.
On LinkedIn, I'm Shamelle Ingram Yemofio, and on social, I'm The Keys to College.
Absolutely. You all check them out. Keys to College LLC, Heroes for Hire LLC. Go check out the book. C is for College. Awesome, great couple here. Thank you all so much. I'm gonna make sure I stop this